Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again.
Of professional wrestling. So allow us to be the voices inside of your head as we go through the wrestling events of the evening. We're going to give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come and provide an experience inclusive to all you nerds out there. So grab your steel chair, yell for the Slim Jim table, and get put through an experience unlike any other. We are brought to you by Anima We Studio, and this is the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Welcome, everybody, to the Friday night SmackDown edition of the Weebs of the Ring show. We are here to talk about the Smack Diggity Down, the go home show for Money in the Bank, which is happening tomorrow night. We got a 4-match card ahead of us. We've got Worlds Collide ahead of us. Both shows are getting some sort of build onto the main roster. But hey, I am just glad we had a solid wrestling show when it comes to WWE this week, because between like a lot of the ill will and a lot of the kind of negative PR they're getting right now, it's just nice to have a good solid show with a good through line of events and stories being progressed and all that and moving forward. Again, a very solid show tonight just to kind of get things started. But of course, as always, I want to welcome all of our returning listeners, watchers, however you're consuming this podcast. Just grateful that you guys are coming back. But of course, if you're new here, you're just stumbling in here being like, hey, who are these guys? What are these guys doing? Why is that one guy right in front of John Cena and some sort of Yeet Meister? Well, quick introductions going into the way. First of all, me, myself, and I am the reigning, defending, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. I am, of course, Watkins here, helping you guys basically guide you guys through the night, through our course of events that happened this evening, and hopefully get us into some good topics of discussion. And of course, I'm never alone in this endeavor. There's two lovely guys right above me. First, of course, to my right, we have somebody who's trying to make things in his own vision, whether we like it or not. But hey, he's got people behind him. He's got a wise man behind him. It's cool. It's neat. It's great. Maybe he'll win tomorrow night. Maybe he'll get screwed over. Who knows? I don't know. But he's a self-proclaimed visionary, a self-proclaimed revolutionary, and he just wants all of you to just be in the chat right now to sing his praises and all that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, welcome to the stage, Legend D Vash. Vash, how you doing tonight?
Ladies and gentlemen, sing my motherfucking song. And as of now, I don't actually have a song behind me. I wish I did. Now that I think about it, like if there's a song that I want people to kind of serenade, what song would it be? Like I was just thinking about it. I'm like, what song would it be? I need to think about
the song that never ends. It goes on and on, my friends. There you go. That's the song.
That's a good option. But welcome in, everyone. Welcome to the show of the Weebs Of The Ring, episode 152. It was a pleasure to here to talk about SmackDown. And I do agree with Watkins. It was a good show. He has a point. If you guys want to see what we feel, check out Grappling of the Week this past week, episode 19, where we spoke about the current transition of the TKO, the releases of R-Truth, Carlitos, and others having new deals, others having known. So it's interesting conversation, so go check that out. And also check out the Money in the Bank prediction, the video that got posted today at 3 p.m. EST. So definitely go check that out and be entertained. What we think could have been right or wrong, because they could have added a fifth match that was kind of teased, the tag team of SmackDowns. We have like 5 teams there that we could already put them in a nice little ring that could just climb some ladders and do some beautiful, amazing spots. But hey, what can I know? It seems like I'm not a booker. I'm just an entertainer. And like I've been told by Triple H, just shut up and watch. Right, Drop? Talk to us. How is it nice to be here on this Friday Night SmackDown? Like Michael Cole says, it's fight night.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was a solid show tonight when it came to certain things that we saw, like spread out the event itself. And we definitely have a busy weekend starting tomorrow when it comes to Worlds Collide. And of course, our Money in the Bank event that we will obviously, cover a little bit later in the evening whenever it's over. I would assume it'd probably end pretty early considering it's like 4 matches or whatever. But yeah.
I mean, we're gonna have a big old Saturday ahead of us. Whether we're watching now, we might be sidecasting tomorrow night. Stay tuned for that, just because things are kind of up in the air, depending on family and all that stuff. But
people may come over people's houses. Things happen.
Yeah, and that's a-okay, because wrestling is meant to be enjoyed together with other people and all that. So hey, whether you're joining us or not for a sidecast, we'll see you either way for a post show for Money in the Bank. But of course, let's get into SmackDown tonight. Again, a lot of stuff happened, a lot of stuff that like kind of intertwined with the Money in the Bank ladder match, and a lot of things that like were building upon each other and all that. But of course, I want to start off really quick because we had a huge announcement tonight between both general managers of Raw and SmackDown. Yeah. We're having the return of King and Queen of the Ring. Now, I didn't see any rumors about this in the past like couple weeks or anything. I just figured we were going to do this like an every other year kind of thing. But it's nice to see that we're going to be getting King and Queen of the Ring again this year. We're going to have a set of fatal 4-way matches between Raw and SmackDown stars, and they're going to face off against each other in the semifinals, and then the finals are going to be happening at Night of Champions. And the winners of these tournaments get to face off against their respective world champions on their shows and all that. So, whoever wins will either be facing Jay or John, whoever's champion at the time. So, what do you guys think of I guess this different angle that we're doing with the King Queen of the Ring? Because one thing I've noticed, WWE is doing a lot of these fatal 4-way matches when it comes these tournament kind of things that they're doing. Um, so it's a little different this time around, especially compared to last year. But Vash, I'll start with you first. How did you take this announcement? I guess, is there anybody that comes into your mind at first? I mean, we don't really have many people already on the brackets yet, but anybody that comes to your mind that are front runners to be
I
King and Queen
know.
of the Ring?
I know the only people that are kind of front runners that kind of tease because I'm from tonight. No men's got teased, but for the women's, I know Jade and Charlotte got teased for an option for the Queen bracket. Do I have any other option for men's women's? No, I'm okay if Jade and Charlotte joins in, but curious to see if they will make it far. The Fatal 4-Way, it kind of sucks in the aspect, but I know it's their way of the WWE format, kind of the same old routine of how they want to showcase their superstars. It would be nice if we had other extra superstars like we did a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago to actually show the roster, but since we kind of lessen them and a few others maybe call from NXT, who knows, by then we may get more options for kind of having the Fatal 4-Ways feel like a tournament style, because this is not the first time and it won't be last time for them doing more tournament styles type of brackets like we have done for Money in the Bank, the qualifier matches, and now for the same thing for Fatal 4. I'm just curious to see how they're going to change it up, since you and me Watkins brought up the past couple of weeks for the triple threats are starting to see much better in the coordination and the choreography of how they kind of set their spots and how it doesn't feel one-sided. Curious to see how this type of this Fatal 4-Way is going to change up now. So it's going to be interesting since we haven't seen that in a tournament bracket, but I'm here for it. I'm happy that we're bringing back the King and Queen because we know that Triple H does like this and he has hyped up since last year. So I'm sure that we're going to have it now back to back. We're most likely going to see it next year again, but depending how the year lineup is, since things are going to be changing up.
All right. Well, what about you, Drop? What did you think of the announcement? Anybody, again, that comes to your mind as front runners to be this year's King and Queen in the Ring? Yeah, talk to me.
So, due to time constraints, because I know Night of Champions is in 3 weeks, I don't necessarily mind the format just because of time constraints. Because I realize on Monday and Friday they're gonna they're gonna do those 2 Fatal 4-Way matches, and they're gonna do the same thing the following week, and then they do the semifinals that final Monday and Friday, and then obviously the 2 who end up getting in the finals end up having that match on that following Saturday on the 28th. So with that, just considering how close the event is, I don't mind. And if I have to think of any frontrunners, I mean, I'll say Stephanie Vaquer because they seem pretty high on her. I wouldn't mind that. I know there's been a lot of people really wanting to see her and Io possibly have an actual match this time. Maybe put Rhea in the back burner for a little bit, and then you could revisit that later, give other people the time to shine and everything. But that's a little front runner for me. I don't really know for men's yet. If I get a better view of the participants, I could probably form a better idea of where I could possibly see things headed.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like especially with the men's side, we'll probably have a better idea after we see who wins Money in the Bank tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think that'll give us a better idea of okay, maybe these people will be part of the King of the Ring part and all that. But yes, Stephanie, I would say she would be a top runner for me, with the women's side of things. With the men, I mean, yeah, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to pick right now or figure it out.
there's, I mean, I can see Seth, because obviously we'll touch on it like a little bit,
Mm.
well, actually shortly, but I could possibly see him being one, because I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
too confident on him winning tomorrow, because I just feel like it's too easy after watching tonight's show.
Yeah. Yeah, after how tonight went, Seth might have an easy card for Money in the Bank, and if not, somebody screwed him over with it.
Bro, dominate on everyone. He literally said,
Yeah.
tsunami, super spear on everyone.
Yeah.
Bro was Oprah like, you get one, you get one,
Yeah.
you get one, you get one.
Yeah.
Everyone gets one.
Yeah, but I'm just glad to see it back, because I do like having it around this time of year. So.
Same.
And plus, I'm a sucker for tournaments, anyways. Just because, like, I loved doing tournaments when I was wrestling in high school and all that. Like that was one of my favorite things. Like we would have like just a weekend of it, and man, it's really good. But that's a whole other tangent that I can always just go on when it comes to a tournament and all that. So yeah, we'll see the playing field, next week when the brackets come out. We'll discuss it. We'll talk about it. We'll bitch and moan about it as always. At least, depending on what they do with it. But yeah, so let's kind of go right in. So again, this was our go home show for Money in the Bank, and we had a lot going on when it came to building up the Money in the Bank ladder matches. Mainly on the men's side, the women's side didn't really have too much going on besides a 6-woman tag match, which fine, I guess. I mean, it would have been nice for the women to kind of have a little bit more to do, but hey, at least they had a pretty good 6-woman tag match. So, well, let's actually start with the women's side of things. Because again, they really only had the 6-women tag match, which was pretty dang good. I mean, you had Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Vaquer, and Alexa Bliss on one side against Naomi, Roxanne, and Giulia. So again, great match, I thought, throughout. It actually kind of started too with Tiffany coming out, just kind of. I'm sorry, I do not enjoy Tiffany's promos lately. They feel very scripted and very just cookie cutter. Like she feels like a robot almost at some points. Which kind of sucks because like you look back at like NXT Tiffany and like there's some bite to her, like there's some character in her words, and she actually like kind of feels and believes what she's saying behind whatever she's told to say. So yeah, she just basically come out here and be like, hey, whoever wins the Money in the Bank is gonna be revolving around me because it's Tiffy time. And then everybody else comes out for their match and all that. Again, great match. Rhea Ripley picking up the win for her team after Naomi just jumps off the apron, doesn't take a tag from Roxanne, so Roxanne had to eat the pin here, which, I mean, it's fine. Roxanne's just getting onto the main roster. She's being the fall girl right now, plus there's a caveat there where Naomi was just like, "Nuh-uh, nope, I ain't having any of that." Yeah, what'd you guys think of the match, overall? Because, like, again, I thought it was great.
I'm gonna just quickly say one thing. When it comes to Tiffany, I don't see nothing the flaw. I don't see the downside right now for her. I do see the scripted part. I do see that when it comes to scripted. When she comes out, it feels like she's saying the promo of what she's being told. But the type of attitude, the type of character from her that I'm getting, it reminds me of a know-it-all, like Sharpay Evans. If anybody has seen High School Musical, like the Sharpay Evans, that even though she lost, she's still gonna act like the top bitch. Even though she won, she's still gonna act like the top one. Like she is that person, and that's why it hasn't faded me yet. But that's my only comment towards that. Two, when it comes to this fucking 6-woman tag was fucking phenomenal. I love how the crowd was chanting "mommy" many times, asking her this match. I love how every time Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Vaquer, and Alexa Bliss reminded me of like a golf team. If they ever have like a staple of them three, I know it would have to be like a cool golf or dark name. A lot of people would be gooning. Crash would for sure. But the match, how it ended, like you said, Watkins, when it came to Roxanne taking the pin, one of them eventually would. With Giulia and Naomi right now, she's now sorry, with Giulia and Naomi, they both have their own storyline right now. Like for example, Giulia, she's going right now with Zelina Vega, so right now she doesn't need any pin losses right now to go behind her until maybe she might lose the first round against Zelina. Naomi right now still has something going on with Jade, still something else going on with Bianca, and she also has the Money in the Bank tomorrow. So one of them had to take the pin, and Roxanne was a choice. To me, it's not a big deal. They're all still big stars, and all six of these ladies closed down the second hour of the show. So to me, still a successful segment, still a great match, and I was entertained.
The fact that you brought up High School Musical in my presence makes me want to vomit.
Damn, that's crazy. It was enjoyable.
I'm sure it was.
Sometimes you gotta get your head in the game, and sometimes you gotta bet on it.
I'm going to slice up every High School Musical fan out there.
Because you know what time is it? It's Tiffy time.
Drop, go ahead and give me your thoughts and opinions on the 6-woman tag before I have to cut down our fearless leader of Anime Studio.
So, like, I could see where you're coming from when it comes to Tiffany sounding like robotic. And this isn't just her, but I just kind of wish in general they gave them the feel to, you know, maybe like be themselves, to see like how they come off organically. Because obviously I'm not going to say I know the business, because obviously I don't work there and I don't have any training underneath this. But it's like the way I look at it, if I know what the story is, like, I feel like I could probably come up with like a good idea of like what to say to make myself sound really convincing. And I just feel like, you know, since they're putting Tiffany higher up on the card, they really need to start loosening a couple things. Like maybe ask her if there's certain things that she wants to do to really help her stand out. Because sometimes when she comes out there, and I'm a huge fan of her, I love her and everything, but it's like sometimes when she comes out there, it always sounds like, you know, the same stuff being fed to her, which is, you know, kind of one of the things that we noticed during the Charlotte feud, where you had like that whole segment in the back with them like side by side, which still stands out till this day, where it feels like, you know, Tiffany was just going along with what was said in the script. Charlotte was going off the dome or whatever was going on during that current climate. It happened between the both of them. And obviously, like, honestly, to put it in better words, the way that she came off on Charlotte during that WrestleMania build, where she kind of went off script, maybe show a little bit more of that to give it like a little more character, because at least with that, she actually sounded a little bit different compared to what she normally does. But when it comes to the match itself, and I thought it was a pretty good match to showcase these girls, so people are aware of like who these people are. Obviously, people know who Rhea Ripley is, people know who Alexa Bliss is, and Naomi. But when it comes to the newcomers, when it comes to like Stephanie Vaquer, Roxanne Perez, it's nice to throw them in that field, because it allows the audience to know that, yeah, you know, these people are hanging out with Rhea Ripley and Alexa Bliss and Naomi, so they must be special, they must be important and everything, so we got to make sure that we're paying attention to them. So I thought this was good just to showcase their wrestling abilities, their character work, everything along the lines of that. And like Vash said, when it came to Roxanne eating the pin, I mean, that's part of the game. You either win or you lose. I mean, when you're a wrestler, that's just something you're going to have to face. I mean, look at Roman Reigns. He was undefeated for years, and past 2 WrestleManias, he had pinfall losses. He was the pin guy, but he's still fine. It's just a part of the game. So I'm pretty sure Roxanne's going to be fine. You know, that she has a lot of years in front of her when it comes to her pro wrestling career, depending on how long she wants to do it. But yeah, I just thought it was really good to put these together, because this was probably one of the things I was looking forward to tonight when I saw them all together, which is kind of one of the things I do like about having all the participants on that night before Money in the Bank. I just like seeing stuff like this, where it's like, this is our women's division, and they're just showcasing all the talent there, and I just thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie either. I'm looking forward to the day when Giulia gets a better pop from from this crowd
Yeah.
because like she's getting almost nothing. Like
Yeah.
I want to say nothing, but there's another
Yeah.
star that I'll mention later on that is getting no pop at all. So yeah, the day Giulia starts getting a good pop from the
That
crowd,
Yeah, that's
all
something I
gas.
noticed. That's something I noticed because I remember
Hmm.
EO struggled with that for a little bit, but thankfully she's like overcome that obstacle, so she doesn't have to deal with that
Yeah,
anymore. So I'm really hoping, not saying she needs to find her footing, but hopefully the community itself could, well, not us, but just people there actually look at her
yeah.
and take her seriously.
Yeah, which I mean they will with time,
Yeah.
because that's the thing. These things take time, and she's like just on the main roster. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see how that all plays out. Again, women's match is going to be. I think it's going to be fire. I think it has potential to be match of the night. Just
Yeah,
seeing who's in it. So
I
I'm
agree.
actually looking forward to that one the most.
I agree.
I
And I
still
mean,
agree this should be the main event, but when I
well,
get in there.
yeah, when Cena Hogan's out there,
Yeah, wrong.
you can't main event over Cena Hogan unless you're facing our truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, and if anything, this kind of made me lean more towards Naomi winning
Yeah.
Money in the Bank. Because just how tonight kind of played out, because like with Rhea standing tall, I mean, now she's looking like the dominant one out of the six. And with Naomi, she's playing upon that opportunistic kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I could see her winning, but I mean, I'm still sticking with my pick of who I had. And to find out that pick, go check out like a lot of other stories going on too. So I kind of lumped them all together here,
Yeah.
trying to get our show paced pretty well. So we started off tonight with Seth and the Bronze coming out, and it's basically just Seth coming out saying that he's looking to take over the company. Basically, he's giving us his own motto, not his motto, his mission statement, if you will. Because I mean, yeah, we knew what it was already with him wanting to make the company like form the company in his own image and his own vision and all that. So he's spouting all that nonsense, and out comes Solo with the Temu bloodline, or I guess Temu Bloodline 2.0 Junior now. And they have this big old stare down, and I like
Mm.
how, like, throughout all of this, you just have Braun Breaker
Yeah.
and Jacob Fatu just staring at each other the whole time, barely taking their eyes off of each other, just staring daggers into each other. And I really like this. Like we talk, people want to throw around like aura farming and all that stuff. Like this was kind of it with like Seth definitely doing that, but like Solo trying his own. And I like Solo when he's himself. And like segments like this with Solo make me want to be behind him and make me want to kind of root for him a little bit because he actually feels genuine in the way he's acting. Like, yeah, it's a little goofy, but I mean, when you hear stories about Solo Sokoa, like outside of the ring and outside of the product and all that, he is kind of a goofy guy, and all that. So like him kind of leaning into that, but like still kind of being a dick, uh, it works really well here. But I
Mm.
like how Solo is comparing Seth's new group to the bloodline and all that, calling like Braun J, Bronson Reed, the Sami Zayn, if you will, acknowledging the fact that Bronson Reed basically betrayed him, and of course Seth just driving that wedge even further between Solo and Jacob Fatu. I thought this segment was really good
Yeah.
for everybody involved, and it's a really good aspect because like sometimes it's very hard to do heel versus heel, especially like whether it's a match or a promo or anything. But I thought they did really well with that aspect here because like this is Seth coming onto somebody else to assert himself and all that, and
Oh.
his Solo's being like, "Yeah, nah, this isn't your yard. Nah, this is mine. This is my space. Get out of here. Go on Facebook, not MySpace. You're not part of my top eight. Get out of here." You know. So talk to me, guys. What did you think of this? Don't be shaking your head, Vash. You miss MySpace. Don't you
And
miss
he
your
said
topping
that I brought
spaces?
him back to High School Musical where I could have told him, you got to get your hand in the game. Sometimes you got to part your own ways.
Nah, nah.
But he said
You just
MySpace, you got to be top 8 because you know what's crazy? Look, I like what you brought up about Solo doing his own thing, being comedic, because he actually broke Bronson Reed character.
Mhm.
He broke character. I love how Bronson tried to focus. He's like, I got this. And you could tell, like, for a good 5-8 seconds, he broke. Then he got serious again, like, fuck. I bet you inside the turn, he's like, fuck, you got me. I couldn't break. And he did it. That sucks when you get caught on camera. And I love when camera catches you. The camera zooms into the fucking assholes. Like, they pan on Bronson. Bronson got caught. Boom! Caught 4K, motherfucker. So that shit was hilarious. Seth, you're an instigator. You're an asshole. You literally call him, oh, you are Solo's bitch. And I'm like, damn, you gotta add the extra, like, at the end, like, to make it a little emphasis on it. Damn, Seth. And it definitely started to instigate and brew overnight because it did. Can't for us to talk about that later. But this was a good introduction for Seth. I love how we finally got the kind of interaction that I wanted of what we got from Solo and his version of Bloodline. Does not call Bloodline, even though they're all wear fucking red still on a SmackDown show that they should be wearing blue, but all of them wear red still. And second, that we had Cody and Seth and Jay interact, but not really intercept each other. So that's something I was very happy to see with my storylines when it came to this type of universe, that they're not on the same platform around SmackDown, but they at least know of each other and crossing paths. So that's very happy to see that as well. Like those little small nuggets are important.
That they are like it's just like what AJ Styles said many years ago. It's about the little things. It's all about the little things in the pro wrestling aspect of it. But yeah, so talk to me. What anything that came to your mind during this segment besides how we need to have this Jacob Fatu versus Braun Breaker match soon into my veins?
Oh yeah, I definitely want that that match because it's been teased for quite some time now. Ever since that night on Monday Night Raw where they both looked at each other for the very first time. So I'm really hoping in the near future we get that match because I feel like it would be really cool to see that finally take off because I feel like both of those two in the ring will create magic with one another. So I am definitely super excited for that. But I also really like this segment itself because, again, it's establishing what Seth Rollins wants to do, the mission statement, something that we were asking about for a little bit until he officially revealed it to us so we know exactly what's going on with him. And, you know, throughout the night itself, I mean, he pretty much made that pretty clear what he's trying to do. I mentioned to a couple of my friends, I feel like it's going to bite him in the ass. A lot of them disagreed with me. But, I mean, if the way I'm looking at it, I mean, you go after the whole team. The second you're thrown into that ring, they're all going to jump you as soon as that bell rings. Oh, yeah. And I kid you not, if that happens tomorrow, I'm going to mention it on the show, and I'm going to be like, you had it coming. No way that bell rings tomorrow, and we're not even 3 or 4 seconds in the match, and all 5 of those other guys start beating the living shit out of him because of what he did the previous night. Because he took things in his own accord because he wants to weaken them. Which I get. I get the whole mindset behind that. Weaken your opponent, so once you get in there, you have the advantage. But at the same time, it bites you in the ass because they're going to want to rip you to shreds like a piranha. Piranha gets a hold of you, you're done. That's pretty much Seth. Seth Rollins is the bait. The other 5 guys are the piranhas. They're going to eat him alive. But I also really like Solo Sikoa in this segment as well. It really showed more of his character, which I'm glad he's actually able to talk and actually do stuff outside of just, you know, standing there like he did a couple years ago. And I liked how, you know, he actually made a lot of sense when it came to what he was saying towards Seth Rollins. Because even my mother mentioned the same thing, where it's like, Seth Rollins really wants to be Roman Reigns, which if you look at it like this, he kind of is. He's trying to be Roman Reigns. Yeah. And then he has like Braun, yeah, because the way you look at it, it's like he's basically trying to the enforcer. Solo brought up the enforcer thing, the honorary Uso, because you look at it like this. It's like, okay, Braun Breaker's the enforcer. He's always taking the shots. And then you got the honorary Uso when it comes to Bronson Reed. So it makes a lot of sense when it comes to that.
Wise man.
Yeah, the wise man as well. Like everything is there. And I kid you not, whenever Roman and him get into a segment again, Roman's probably gonna come out and all that bullshit where he's like, are you putting all this together because you're so jealous of my success? Like, that's something that I'm waiting for Roman to see eventually once they come in contact with one another. Because I know Roman, he really hits it where it hurts. So he's not afraid to break a few bones if he really wants to tell you how he feels. But I liked Solo in this segment itself because it made a lot of sense with the kinds of things that he was saying. And then, of course, when it came to the sort of things that Seth was saying in return about the whole Jacob Fatu situation, it makes sense too, considering the sort of situation that Jacob is in. He didn't really seem like he wanted to be there. He just walked out because he had to. And I mean, if he walked away and left, he'd be perfectly fine. And we obviously saw the pretty much the next step, which we'll touch on a little bit later. But I really did like this opening segment. I thought it was interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely planted a few seeds for a few stories to kind of branch off of here. But of course, this transitions into our first match of the night because as Seth and the Bronze are leaving the ring, out comes Jimmy to just attack these guys, and we find out that Jimmy's gonna be facing JC Mateo in a match. So let's have that match right now. And I mean, the match was fine. I think I thought it was just a little slow at times, but I mean, again, we're showcasing JC Mateo a little bit, and again, like we had Solo outside the ring. I didn't know this was a story point or story beat at this point, but I mean, I guess it somewhat makes sense. Where Solo is just like, hey, Jimmy, we can. If you just join us, you'll be fine. We won't have to keep whooping your ass like this. Oh, you don't want to join us? All right. Well, JC's just gonna keep beating you up.
Yeah.
Sorry, bud. Like, sorry about your bad luck, but like, yeah. So I think the match was solid in its own right. Then we get to the finish where it's like, we're gonna be running a bunch of distractions and all that, and Jacob Fatu's like right up on the apron, and JC Mateo tries to go after Jimmy, ends up hitting Jacob Fatu, and he gets rolled up by Jimmy, loses the match, and Jacob Fatu, they don't really have an argument, but we have JC Mateo in the ring saying, what was it? Yeah, he's basically yelling to Solo saying he's the problem, not me. So again, that wedge, that canyon between the Bloodline 2.0 Junior Esquire the Third is now just being it's getting bigger and bigger. And I mean, we get a moment later on where Solo basically calls Jacob Fatu stupid.
Yeah, all gas, no
Jacob
brains.
heard that. Yeah,
all gas, no brains.
Which I love that. I love how he turned that around on Jacob Fatu, is just saying that. Great work from you, Solo, right there. But yeah, we are like definitely gonna be having that turn here soon, because like as soon as Jacob showed up after hearing that, the crowd erupted and they were like, oh yeah, now you've got a bona fide babyface on y'all's hands right now. Don't screw it up. Okay, but
yeah,
do you guys think we're gonna get the turn tomorrow? Because I mean, I know Solo's gonna want the family to help him. Do we think that Jacob does the turn tomorrow?
It's possible, because I do expect a lot of shenanigans to happen within this match itself, because the way that things are setting up, like I mentioned earlier, all the problems that Seth started tonight, you're gonna have shenanigans play out where all the other five guys technically should be doing their own things and just focusing on themselves, but considering that they have the common enemy, they're gonna do the best that they possibly can to absolutely rip Seth apart. So I could see the same thing happening when it comes to Solo Sikoa, when it comes to him in the match. You have JC Mateo there, Jacob Fatu make an appearance. Maybe there's something that happens within the match itself, or like Solo's so close, but maybe something happens where like he wants Jacob's assistance, but Jacob doesn't help him, or he does something on purpose to really have it happen. And for all we know, you could have the turn there where he gives him a Samoan drop, or he places him on the table. He jumps from, the ring post all the way to the table outside, or if there's a table planted, wherever the case may be. Like, I can definitely sense it soon. I will say right here and right now, I do believe this probably will take place at SummerSlam. I don't know if I would really want to do it. I mean, you could do it at Night of Champions, but at the same time, it feels like a SummerSlam match to me. And I feel like if you wanted to wait a little bit longer, you could wait until SummerSlam, because then you could have the turn happen where Jacob Fatu just gets tired of Solo's bullshit. He turns on him, and then you get that exchange of dialogue so he can vent out his frustration from both sides and everything, which you could still do within 3 weeks. But at the same time, they've been taking their time with this story so much. I don't mind waiting a little bit longer for it, because they definitely need like some top matches on that card when it comes to the 2 nights, and I would absolutely throw that on there. So I feel like it's definitely possible for that to happen. And one thing I do want to mention about this match itself, I will say the match was fine. It was basically what happened towards the end that was really the meat potatoes behind the thing. But I'm really wondering what's going on with Jimmy, because Jimmy's like just so involved in this whole bloodline vortex thing. Like, I really want to know what's the next step for him when it comes to new things outside of things that we've seen being played out again and again and again. Like, because I like him. I think he's cool. He could talk on the mic. He can get people behind him and everything. Like, if you really want to kick things into gear and you want to give him his own sort of way of standing out, just like his brother, not saying that they have to be at the same level, I feel like you gotta have to like shift things around a little bit, because as much as I like seeing Jimmy on the TV, I don't want to always see him around the bloodline all the time. So if I had a little nitpick there, that would definitely be it. So I'm hoping in the near future there's some sort of plans for him. Maybe the way that it's looking, maybe he possibly aligns himself with Jacob Fatu or something. That I could see something like that happening. Just basically at that point, you're both either he's basically the common enemy at that point. Maybe as we see time progress, they try to build a relationship with one another. Basically, things you see on different television programs or whatever the case may be. You have it build over time so they can get their close again.
Yeah, patch things up.
Yeah,
patch things up as brothers, siblings and everything. I get where you're coming from. If I could piggyback to what you're saying, with Jimmy, I agree. I want him to have some type of direction. He's been back and forth, going for the U.S. title, and then helping his brother got blood and beat it up by Gunther. His brother got the title. Now he's here and there supporting his brother, but now back to SmackDown, going for the qualifying matches, going for the Vortex as the Bloodline. It gets exhausting when you see him in the same thing. Like, can't wait for me to talk about the same thing about somebody versing almost the same people for 11 matches. Can't wait for me to bring that later, check, because you're gonna hear me rant and complain about that one. But when it comes to Jimmy, he is good. He's funny, like Job brought up. He's an entertainer individual, but I want to see him do more. So hopefully he gets like Job said, he doesn't have to be in the same level. He doesn't have to go after John Cena. He could go after U.S. title. I was thinking my rebuttal was go after U.S. title, since right now you're fighting after this, probably go against Jacob. But what Job said, I like the idea as well too, since our boy Jacob is about to turn face, you could have him bounce back with Jimmy, and that'd be a good, nice follow-up to see them work together. However, the idea about the SummerSlam, I feel like that will be a good time to kind of build that up, because you can still have him say, I hate you Solo, but still have them work together in some capacity, or have them not trust him but still have them around. It's possible, just depending how you execute that. But if the question was, could it happen tomorrow? Possibly. Could it still be built up like we have seen other events, like I said a couple of months ago or weeks ago about Austin Theory versus Grayson Waller? Their match is also going to happen at SummerSlam, I believe. So
Maybe.
we have the Jacob and Solo for SummerSlam as well. Works because you know why? 2 nights. That's like at least 10 matches that we're going to have. So for me, to have Jacob and Solo, there are two big enough stars that could have a match on their own. But if they're gonna have their first match by then, great. If they're gonna have their third match by then, I would like a stipulation. Those are my only two things on that. How about you, Walkers? Where do you agree? Also, I want to add JC Mateo. It sucks that the crowd, I don't know about you guys, but the crowd is kind of cold on him, which I kind of feel bad. Hopefully he gets more of a pop or build up over time. But just seeing the crowd, not knowing who, Jeff, what's his actual name outside of JC Mateo?
Yeah. Well,
Jeff Cobbs? Yeah, Jeff Cobbs. Like,
hi-
it sucks to see that.
yeah, his situation is kind of the same thing as Giulia's, where it's like, I mean, he just got up there, and I mean, yeah, he could be having a bigger pop, or people could be more hotter on him and all that. But with him, I mean, I give it the benefit of the doubt. He needs, a bit more time to start cooking on the main roster, and that way he can get that praise and all that. Because, like, yeah, he's not getting too much at the moment, but
Oh.
eventually he will. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens when it comes to how we set up the match between Solo and Jacob. I mean, it could be a series that starts at Saudi, that ends at SummerSlam, or we hold off until like the build for SummerSlam. I mean, it could be a thing where they put both Jacob and Solo in the same Fatal 4-Way match,
Yeah.
and Solo ends up capitalizing on something that Jacob did and winning. So it could be something like that, or
Yeah.
I mean, if it was like an elimination style, I could see something where it was like, because this led to like the Batista turn on Triple H, where it was like
Yes.
it was
I saw a tweet about that.
it was an elimination chamber match where I forgot who they were facing. I want to say Randy was the one that pinned Batista, but that doesn't matter for the point that this was, because like there was a point where like Batista was getting pinned and Triple H had the time and the momentum to stop the pin, but he ended up sitting down in the corner thinking, okay, if I stop it, then Batista's, and I save Batista, he's going to just be in the match still and all that. So, like, it could always be something like that if it was in an elimination type match, but I doubt. You could still probably do a spot where, like, maybe multiple people take out Jacob or something in that Fatal 4-Way, but that also depends on if they go that route with placing people in these brackets and all that. Yeah, so I mean, that kind of led into that aspect of, or at least that part of the men's Money in the Bank ladder match build for tonight. And I mean, we had another tease too with Damian Priest confronting Jacob Fatu. It looks like we're going to be going that route for Jacob's next title defense, which is, I think it will be really good.
I'm okay with shit.
Yeah.
I know that if they have a street match, that shit will be brutal. That shit will be brutal. Them two will cook up a good promo, a good match between them. Shit, like last man standing. I know they will sell so well. I know they'll be entertaining, and just the backstage, like the backstage segment, it was it was very solid. That I was locked in. I was impressed to see two of these gentlemen just lock in eyes. That's true.
Yeah, and I mean, it also gives Jacob a former world champion to defeat, or possibly should defeat. So that's just another notch in his cap and all that. So yeah, but onwards to our next part of the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, because there's a few other guys that are in this match that have things to do tonight leading into tomorrow night. We have LA Knight taking on Aleister Black. So we had a couple moments here where it's like we had this video segment for Aleister Black saying that it just doesn't sit well that LA Knight basically stole the victory from him last a couple weeks ago when they had their triple threat match, and he's basically looking to see what LA Knight can do and if he can actually capitalize and actually prove how tough he is without the little Nakamura buffer between the two. And of course, LA Knight comes out, he runs down the whole field in a very, very satisfying way, but unfortunately, he's not satisfied with this being like the third time that he's in this match. So he's looking to win it, and I love like his like wordplay here, where he's basically saying like it's gonna be a great LA night when LA Knight wins, yeah, like all that stuff. And yeah, they end up getting into the match, and I thought the match was fine too. I thought like the way they were booking this and the way they produced it was just like they're both evenly matched, and it's like, okay, how can they outmaneuver the other? Because like there was a bunch of counters between the two and all that,
Yeah.
and there were a couple moments that did kind of take me out, like with Aleister kind of waiting for a spot or like waiting to get rolled up.
Yes, I
But
saw that. I noticed that.
mhm,
It pissed me off a bit. I was like,
yeah,
that's kind of too obvious. He's a bit late on
yeah.
it. Yeah, I felt it. I felt it. Felt it.
And I think part of that too is because like I mean Aleister Black spent a few years away from WWE and in a different system that kind of produces matches a little differently. So
Yeah.
I feel like there's still a bit of like returning to form when it comes to like WWE style and all that. But yeah, I
Um,
mean, I thought the match was fine.
I also
Ended in
want to
DQ,
mention,
but whatever.
you did bring up about Nakamura. He was also in Nakamura in the background of the J.K. Fatu and Damian Priest
Oh,
segment. He was
Uh,
in the background
oh,
as
don't
well
remind me of
during
that.
that.
Don't,
So,
yeah, you don't need to
yeah.
remind me of that.
okay, copy. I just okay, never mind. I brought it up. I
Yes.
thought, maybe.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think that's gonna lead to much of anything.
Yeah, it's just nightmares.
The same, yeah, because the same shit was happening during WrestleMania season when he was doing that,
Yeah.
and nothing amounted to that either.
You know what it is?
So
He's probably looking for a
True,
Switch
true.
too. Looking for a
Oh
Switch
my
too.
god.
Just steal.
Oh my
he's
god.
he's looking for a way to be on TV. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
Honestly, you're not wrong.
He's like, I want to be on TV.
You're not wrong.
There's a camera. I want to be. Yeah.
Watch him start doing
Oh,
Gangnam
man,
Style in the
but-
back.
Oh my
That'd be
God.
crazy.
He just walks up with a banana, just like,
Oh yeah.
oh, I'm just
I-
eating a banana.
Look, I do like the promo he did for LA
Oh, yeah.
Knight.
Yes.
I do like the promo that
Mhm.
that this was his third year, that he's gonna run down, and he came at everyone during the 5 people. He said that
Deserves
Gun
it.
Americano is a dumbass or he's an idiot, one of those words. Or he said Gun Americano smashed Chad Cable. He gave a shout out to Seth Rollins. He gave a good comment against somebody else. Trying to remember who it was.
Chris Rogers.
No.
I don't know.
No, I can't remember who else it was that LA Knight gave a good comment towards the
Oh,
other 5 qualifiers. Who?
I mean, it was just the baby phases. So like when he was running down, like, oh, Penta, the crowd would cheer, and he'd be like, oh, you guys like him, huh? Andrade, crowd would cheer. Oh, you guys like him, huh? And then like El Grande Americano is just like, oh, you guys are kind of mixed on him. And then like the other
Yes,
two
that's right.
bozos
Oh yeah.
got booed, and he's just like, oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Solo.
don't like
Yeah,
them.
Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. Thank you for the reminder. That was really cool about his promo. I really appreciated that. But when Seth came out and
Oh.
something I didn't know on the timeline that the timeline helped me learn. When Aleister Black came out and stopped Seth, the timeline explained that Aleister Black remembers that Seth is the one that caused our boy Buddy to take Aleister Black eye out. I was like, oh, I did not notice.
Yeah,
This is
he has that continuity.
interesting information.
Yeah, he's kept that continuity with him for a while too, which is really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing I really appreciate about Aleister Black as a worker himself, because like he brought that shit
Yeah.
to like outside of WWE, which is really good. Like that's commitment right there. That's
Yeah.
commitment to kayfabe,
Yeah.
which is dead.
Basically,
in
like,
this feud,
Wait,
but,
what happened
yeah.
exactly? Like, was it Seth that actually told like Buddy to actually get his eye
Yeah.
out back to them, or what happened?
Yeah, so like in kayfabe, they took his eye out basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's why like his one eye has
Like
that
the white
contact
contact.
lens, isn't?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
but he
basically,
wore that like when he went into AEW and all.
yeah,
So
because he basically had his eye pinned to like the corner of the steps.
yeah,
Yes, I saw that picture. Yes. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
But
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood. Everything makes sense now.
but to give some thoughts like on the match itself, I was actually really interested to see this because when I saw the graphic pop up, I thought it was
Mhm.
fake. But I mean, when I saw that it was actually official by WWE, I was actually really excited because seeing LA Knight and Aleister Black in the ring, I mean that's a pretty big match to throw on television. I mean, I'd argue and say that's easily a pay-per-view match in my eyes. Just looking at the kind of performers that are involved in a match like that. But I really liked seeing them work together. I thought they had like a couple good spots here and there. I did notice like a couple things in between. And I feel like they'll have more matches in the future, so they'll probably get used to each other a little bit more down the line. But I thought they did very well for their first showing when it comes to them working in the ring and everything. And again, talking about the continuity with Seth Rollins and Aleister Black, knowing that, yeah, you can't fuck with me, buddy. I got your number, sort of thing. And I really like the whole thing of LA Knight because it was very wholesome. And I do want to say, I did see some people like not really like this, which I don't understand. It was just him happy being there in the moment, just being himself and just expressing how he feels when it comes to where he is and all the opportunities that he's got. Like, I just feel like, he's pretty much had like the spotlight on him, almost like if the whole room was dark, he had the spotlight on him and he was given his promo and everything. Like that's how it felt right here. This is his third year. He wants to make sure that the cards
Agree.
are aligned. The stars are aligned this time when it comes to him winning the Money in the Bank, which I feel like he definitely deserves it because I feel like when it comes to somebody getting the Money in the Bank, they don't necessarily need to cash it in right away, which I could definitely see them saving that for a moment. And if he does hypothetically win this match and becomes Mr. Money in the Bank, I don't see it being a failed cash in only because I feel like they know the people want him to have his moment down the line when the time comes. And I feel like they'll save it for that time when it's special and everything. But I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if we watch this match tomorrow and he might be the very reason why Seth Rollins falls short because of what happened tonight, because he didn't say anything bad about him whatsoever. He went over the participants and everything. Seth Rollins just wanted to just be a snake and just attack everybody and everything. But I thought it was a really good moment with them. And yeah, I mean, Seth attacking Aleister Black and Ellen. I'm very curious to see, like, is there going to be like any comments on this, like the following SmackDown when it comes to Aleister or everyone
there
else
should
involved
be.
in this? Yeah, because it's like even
Yeah.
people like that weren't part of the Money in the Bank match itself, they were attacked, like Aleister Black, for example. So you would think if he's getting attacked and getting speared and all these different kinds of things is happening to him, you would think he would come out on SmackDown the next week or whatever and like say something about it, because it feel weird if you just walk away and you just have like another match of a fresh new face after that happened.
Yeah, and man, just I kind out of all the matches tonight, I kind of figured this one was gonna end as it did in a
Yeah,
DQ,
yeah.
just because I mean,
Seth,
Aleister Black shouldn't be really losing
no,
at the moment,
yeah,
and LA Knight can't
yeah,
before tomorrow night.
yeah,
So yeah, this match kind of ending in DQ how it did makes sense. I'm not really upset with that.
yeah,
Plus, again, like the whole through line we're doing tonight is just like kind of showing how dominant Seth's faction really is. Because like that's the thing. They've been talking a lot, and I mean there have been moments where they have taken out people and all that, but like it's one thing to do that just for like a segment,
yeah,
but this was like throughout the night they
yep.
were doing this. So like that's a really good way to just show how dominant your new faction truly is. So, uh, Yeah, but again, Seth and his boys took out the competition and they moseyed on back into the back rooms and all that. And this leads us to our last match that we had that dealt with people going into the Money in the Bank ladder match. We had the Creed brothers
Oh boy.
taking on Penta and Andrade. Now, this got set up because in the back, Chad Gable's having this fun little interview with, I believe it was Byron Saxton. And, he's looking forward to his match tomorrow against Vikingo. And he's very grateful that, even though he wasn't able to be put in the ladder match, at least El Grande Americano can take his place and maybe win. I don't know. Who knows? We'll find out tomorrow with El Grande Americano. But in comes Andrade. He just starts talking Spanish to him. Okay, cool. And, I love how Chad, he's just standing there like,
Sí,
see?
sí.
See?
Sí.
See, CK? I'm just like, oh no, he's got you now. And then Penta comes in, and you can kind of tell they're kind of poking fun at Chad in Spanish. And I'm glad Chad wasn't just like, y'all need to speak English, blah, blah, blah. But he did started getting really mad at them. And the Creeds got involved. They were like, hey, nah, you're not going to mess with our buddy. He's supposed to be helping us win, even though we lose almost all the time. Yeah, so they squared up a little bit. Nick Aldis comes by. He's just like, hold on. We need a tag match, players. Get out there. We'll have a tag match. You guys can fight out there. And yeah, and I thought this match was pretty dang good. Again, you have the Creed brothers against Penta and Andrade. Yes, all of the yes. Started off with the faces kind of taking advantage a little bit before the match even started. Going after the Creeds and all that. So I like how what's his name? Shoot. Why am I blanking on the Wade Barrett on commentary, kind of like healing up a little bit, being like, oh, the match hasn't even started yet. They're taking advantage of this, blah blah blah. But even still, match was really good.
Oh yeah.
Ended because Chad Gable tried to get involved, but Vikingo, who I guess loves to just hang out, right in the front row.
You could just tell how high they seem really high on him because he's in a lot of those shows.
Oh yeah.
Don't blame him.
And he's just holding on to that lovely little mega championship that he has and all that. But he takes out Chad Gable, leaves the Creeds open to lose and all that. Seth and the Bronze come back out to beat up on Andrade and Penta again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a solid match with the two teams, and continuing Seth's little dominance of the night. Yeah, I had a good time with this one.
I will say this, Chad. I'm tired of you. I'm tired of you. I'm tired of your ass with this fucking Gun Americano shit. Gracias, my ass. Throw this shit out the window. Fucking learn English.
Yeah.
Dude, she got me mad, man.
Vash is gonna have a mental breakdown if he wins Money in the Bank tomorrow.
Who?
Yeah, if Chad Gable wins.
Oh.
Yeah, I wonder. I really wonder how is WWE gonna fuck themselves over if Gun Americano actually wins, but then they reveal the mask that is Chad Gable. Does he lose the contract since he was the same as one person? Exactly. Do they just restart the Money in the Bank? Hey, we have to have the event again next month. And I really wonder, do we do this? How fuck are you? Funny if we actually ruined this.
Yeah, that would be funny if he actually does. Let's say hypothetically he does get the briefcase, but his mask falls off, and then they look at it where it's like, well, you try to qualify for this event, but you failed, and now you're trying to cosplay someone else. That would be pretty funny. But
look,
dude, I don't even.
All I'm gonna say is Brock Lesnar entered the Money in the Bank ladder match and wasn't even part of the match, and won it.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna throw that out there from way back then.
I mean, it'll definitely go along.
Talk to us.
I mean, I thought this match was really good because you have the Creed brothers, Penta, Andrade. It's kind of hard to argue with that being a bad match considering the amount of talent within those four competitors. But I mean, give me more of Penta and Andrade working alongside each other whenever they get on the same brands, because I feel like they really work well with one another. So that's something I definitely want to see more of. I like seeing Vikingo there. Like, I'm really curious to see what they're gonna do with him in the future, because he seems to be featured on a lot of the shows, which I don't blame him. He's a incredible talent. I am looking forward to that match with him and Chad Gable tomorrow. I feel like it has potential to be like one of the matches of the year, if you want to put it from like WWE's card, just because of how talented those two guys are. And again, more shenanigans being played out when it comes to Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed coming out to cause more mayhem when it comes to Penta and Andrade, especially like poor Penta, like getting those fucking tsunamis and shit. Like, that's just
Oh, God.
Yo, I have a question.
and a stomp.
Was that the stop? Yes. Was that the only one that was hoping or expecting his brother Ray Phoenix to come out and help him out during this happening? I thought maybe this would have been a great way to introduce a connection of the Luchador brothers. It would have been a great way to be like, "Yo, brother, I got you, Ray Phoenix."
Yeah, that would have been cool, because he does have a match tomorrow and they are in the same area. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if he's backstage just chilling and catering, eating pizza rolls or whatever.
Well, that's the thing. He was probably busy trying to cool off the pizza rolls, because they do get kind of hot after you put them in the microwave. So he's probably a little busy with those.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame him.
No, I don't blame him either.
Some pizza rolls.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah. But yeah, so I mean, at least Seth and his boys decided to wait until after the match to attack them. So we at least got a finish with it, and
thankfully,
again, the baby faces win. Cool, neat, awesome. With the Mexican Destroyer too, I don't know if they're like trying to phase out the Penta driver into the Mexican Destroyer, or
I know
you're right.
I know he did use it. I do recall he did use it last week, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, I guess it's like trying to switch it up every so often, where it's like you finish with this, you finish with that. Like, sometimes, like, because I know like with John Cena, sometimes he finished back in the day, he finished moves either the Attitude Adjustment or the STF. Because I know, like, at the very least, I think wrestlers have at least like 2 different finishers that they pull off. It's either like 2 different like either like some sort of grapple hold or whatever the case may be, and then a submission or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, if you think about it, like, in a way, it's like the Mexican Destroyer is like technically still a pile driver in the way, just looking at how it's executed.
Right.
So
yeah,
I don't know.
So yeah, I don't know either. It's something I was noticing, because like they've been trying to like have him end matches with the Mexican Destroyer, which again, it's fine, it's cool, it's whatever.
Definitely been more apparent.
Oh yeah. But after the commercial break, like, Seth and the Bronze are still out there, and you got Paul Heyman on the mic, he's basically just hyping up Seth at this point, just saying how Seth is a visionary. Yeah, just glazing him to no end. I mean, almost like he was a donut, which, fun fact, yesterday, but June 6th was National Donut Day, so I guess this kind of makes sense why Paul Heyman was glazing Seth Rollins so much. And yeah, basically saying that Seth is a man of his word. You know, whatever he says he's going to do, he's going to do. And as he's talking, and as Seth's about to say, like, I'm going to win, blah, 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 out comes Cody Rhodes. Now, they don't have any words for each other, but they do have a bit of a stare down.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, after seeing the stare down, it's very tantalizing. And I was talking to my wrestling group chat too about this. It's very tantalizing to have Seth Rollins win and cash in on either John or Cody. And I'm gonna say Cody after he beats John. Because that's the thing. Because it's like, oh, he could cash in on John, And it's like, all right, well that's fine and all that, but like the person who takes the belt from John should probably be a babyface because they're technically saving wrestling and all that.
Yeah.
And even though it kind of plays upon what Seth is trying to do, Seth's trying to do it in a different way. He's trying to do it in his own different vision and in kind of a worse way than Cody's trying to do. So, kind of twisting it around where it's just like, okay, have Cody take the title from John, have him have that moment, and then have Seth come in with the briefcase, cash in on him, and now Seth's the WWE champion now. That just that seemed so tantalizing, and that was the idea that I saw just right here as Cody was making his entrance, staring these guys down. Because they have a segment, him and Jay have a segment here in just a minute with uh with John and
Oh God.
Logan Paul. But what was going through y'all's minds when Cody and even Jay too? Because like Jay made his entrance while they were all out there as
Yeah.
well, yeeting all over the place. But what was going through y'all's minds when this was going down?
I'm gonna be straightforward and simple because my answer is very short. Uh, love it that Cody interrupted Seth. Love it that Jay continued the interruption and just having a whole Yee concert. That's amazing. I was hoping for a fucking interaction, but just having them lock eyes, just having them be aware of each other, like, yo, I see what you're doing. Not a big fan of this, like, kind of attitude, like, or for me. But then once John Cena and Logan came out, I'll be honest, I fell asleep during a segment and I woke up in the last 2-3 minutes of it. So I snoozed out on the last the first 6-8 minutes of them, and then I woke up in the last 2-3 minutes of the segment. I didn't care for Logan. Like once Logan and John, I was
But
like I'm just
at least Logan didn't talk tonight.
he
At least
didn't
there
talk
was
too
that.
much. John hype him up. He glazed him like no fucking tomorrow. He called him the future, the face of the company. I'm like, bitch, what? Are you really trying to tell me that I need to accept that Logan Paul may become in the future, a couple years from now, the face of the company? That is a
Well,
hard pill to swallow.
well, that's the thing, Vash. Like we were told by Triple H, just shut up and watch.
That is a hard pill
Or
to
The
fucking
Rock.
swallow.
Either way, they told us to shut up and watch. So sorry for spouting an opinion. Sorry for talking. All you higher ups up there. But what about you, Drop? What was going through your mind as these events were transpiring?
So I did like seeing the moment between Cody and Seth because Cody is pretty much Seth's kryptonite because Seth has never been able to pull a win over Cody. So I do like how Seth's so dominant right now. He's attacking all of the members of the Money in the Bank. All of a sudden Cody comes out and he's like frozen in his tracks because he knows he can't one up this guy because this guy is like leagues above him now. And it's like almost like in a way how like Seth's trying to be like the centerpiece of the company, but then you actually have the actual guy who is the centerpiece of the company just pretty much putting his foot down and letting Seth knows who runs the show and not him. So I did like that little moment with them. Maybe we can revisit in the future, but I'm not really too focused on that right now because obviously there's other things. There's bigger fish to fry when it comes to their own conflicts that they have currently going on right now. But when it came to John Cena and Logan Paul coming up, because pretty much with Cody and Jay they're pretty much just building that moment to really get to Cena and Logan at that moment. And maybe it was done by design for Logan not talking as much because he pretty much did what he needed to do in this segment when it came to whatever he was told to do, which whatever. But
Yeah.
one of the things I will say about John, and I'll give him like 2 positives here when it comes to him. I like how he spun the whole truth thing in the crowd. I thought that was really good, where they were saying, we want truth, we want truth, and they're like, you can't handle the truth. I like how he spun that around. He's a very smart guy, so I know he really knows how to play into the crowd and everything since he's been in the business for so long. And one of the things I can agree with him with when it comes to this whole entire ruin wrestling thing, that the only thing that really makes sense, not saying that these things are going to happen, but just saying it out loud just to get underneath people's skin, is bringing up the whole Logan Paul thing of him being a champion, because in a way that does factor into ruining wrestling, because nobody wants to see that. That's just awful. Nobody ever wants it to happen. So when it comes to this whole thing of him shouting it out months and months and months now, that's the only amount of sense that he's really made with that statement when it comes to really ruining wrestling, when you factor in Logan Paul, because God forbid, and folks that are watching, you'll get a good shot of that a little bit later. I'm not going to tell you when it's going to show up, but that image itself is like so cursed. Like, it's just seeing the single shot of Logan Paul holding up the world heavyweight title, seeing them both together, just seeing that end off the show, like that was just a scary sight in itself. But I will give him, his flowers when needed when it comes to what he did. What he did here tonight, because I don't want to walk away from that and pretend that it didn't happen. And yeah.
And I mean that's just the thing. It's like this segment we had with Cody and Jay against John and Logan wasn't really much of anything, mainly because like Cody and Jay were really the ones talking, and it was really just them kind of hyping everybody up and all that. Like, oh, what do you want to talk about? We talk about how John's very desperate, how desperate he was at WrestleMania, and tomorrow is a yeet down, not a beat down,
Yeah.
a yeet down. Is yeet over yet for you guys? Because we're gonna keep adding it into everything.
Yep.
That was fine. That was whatever. Yeah, nothing beyond this except hey, we're the baddies. We're fighting you. We took you down. We're standing on top. Again, I like how John did turn that "We Want Truth" chants around, because like that's just a mark of a professional.
Yeah.
Of being able to like adapt on the fly. Like this is what I was complaining about earlier with like Tiffany Stratton, for example. It's just like, yes, you can still have your scripts and all that, like have that as your, overall skeleton of what you need to say and all that. But the true mark is what you do beyond that. It's how do you get us invested? How do you make us believe the words? And also, how do you deal with the live crowd as it can be? And as we saw, I feel bad using Tiffany as the example, but during her feud with Charlotte going into WrestleMania, we saw what happened with Charlotte in this, where it's like, the crowd kind of got to her and all that. Why the fuck was that up? Anyways, like, yeah, so like we saw how Charlotte had to deal with the crowd, and I mean, she dealt with it in a way that's kind of unprofessional, but that's whatever. But like that's the example I'm trying to give here. Is it's like with John doing it, oh, he knew exactly how to spin that, because he's been around the block before. He just knows
Exactly.
everything.
Like you said, like John's been around the block. He's been in this industry for 25 years. Stephanie still in this industry, like she's training now by the professionals, so she has the easier access. Where we're gonna see these new people are gonna be 5 years from now much better than the people that we see. That's the hope and gain. So I'm just hoping Tiffany and the people that's holding her back could be like, yo, let these dogs be beasts out there. Let the bum breakers bark.
Yeah. And again, that's no, real big slight to them. It's just the example I have. So yeah, again, not much to go off of more than what we've just said there. So we're gonna transition now to our mid card stories. Because we had a couple things to talk about. Mainly one thing to talk about and a couple quick fire segments here. We had a Bakersfield brawl tonight where we had Piper Niven taking on Zelina Vega. Now, a couple things with this. First of all, before the match even started, Zelina had another run-in with Giulia, who confronted Zelina, said she was eyeing the title and all that, and Zelina made note of this. She was like, "Hey, you made your intentions clear last week. Good on you. And the only thing is, you're gonna have to take this title from my cold dead hand. So good luck with that, because I'm a babyface who can survive a lot of things." And Giulia, at least, like, she's still a heel. She's still being booked as a heel, but I kind of like this where she's at least giving Zelina a little bit of respect here, where she's like, I like you. You're confident. But also, in a way, it's kind of talking down to Zelina, and that's not because she's short. It's the fact that Giulia is kind of like, oh, that's great. Show that spirit. I love that because I can't wait to crush it for that title. But yeah, Zelina's going up to the match. Uh, I had mentioned like the whole pop thing earlier. Zelina continues to not get a pop at all, which sucks because she's champion and she's not getting any kind of pop. All right, cool, neat, whatever. She has a match against Piper Niven, which is basically no DQ, but we're gonna, you know, have it as a Bakersfield brawl and all that. Match was fine. I mean, there are a couple of moments where I'm just like, why'd you get rid of that weapon? Piper, hopefully you're fine. You had a scary spot there in the corner with that steel chair. Yeah, I mean, the match was fine. It took a while for the heels to be like, oh, wait, there's 3 of us and one of her in a no DQ match. Let's just beat her up. That kind of happens until Giulia comes out to help with our first instance of the Slim Jim tables
Yes, the first table.
snapping.
The promo and marketing by Joe Tesoro. Literally say, "Hey, got hit by a Slim Jim table." I'm like, he had to say it. That's also part of the sponsorship of the tables.
She got
Once the table
snapped
breaks,
into the table. She got snapped into the Slim Jim table.
yeah.
Dude, that's
And I mean, afterwards, Giulia attacks Zelina after faking, "Hey, we're buddies. Cool, neat."
yeah.
I mean, it just sucks. Like,
Look, I'm gonna just say this match
I
I
don't
did
have
not
anything.
care for. I did not care for not one bit because look, guys, I'm gonna just share this information for you. In case you didn't know, the past 11 matches for Zelina Vega was versus Piper Niven, versus Alba Fire, versus Giulia and Charlotte Flair for the qualifying matches, versus Piper Niven and Chelsea Green, versus Piper Niven, versus Chelsea Green, versus Chelsea Green, versus Chelsea Green, versus Piper Niven. Bro, she's been on a rotation, on a fucking rotation for the same amount of people, literally with 3 people. And I get it, You don't want to have babyface versus babyface like Zelina versus Mitchin, Zelina versus BFAT. But guess what? You could incorporate it into some type of bragging rights, some type of, hey, I would like an opportunity in a match. You are my friend, blah, blah, blah. You could have found a way. This whole rotation shit really is getting the fuck out of the way. It's getting me annoyed because Zelina Vega deserves better. She even said it towards Giulia, that I will not let you get this title off me. I will not let you get this title off me over my dead body. She worked too hard for this. She deserves it. She's put the effort, and I just don't want this company to hold her back because I'm so happy that also she had the chance to talk during this promo because it was well deserved. I'm glad that she didn't fucking stare, look, walk away. I'm like, bro, really? What the fuck was the point?
Yeah.
Some words would be needed, and the words said, and thank you. Would have been nice to see some more interaction, but hey, I'm not gonna bite more than I can chew because that's not what we were given. I'm just happy to chew what was already there and shown to us. So that's really cool. But this match, I did not give a flying fuck. I'm annoyed about it. So, Drop, can you add any positive things, or are you also annoyed as us?
Yeah, I didn't really feel this match as much, to be perfectly honest, because it's like, even if you add a stipulation here, we've just seen these ladies just go up against one another so much. It's just almost like you're watching the same episode on repeat, or you're stuck in the Twilight Zone, or it's like Groundhog Day. same thing happening every single day. You can't really find the door to escape it. Like I just wish they had a better game plan when it came to what was going on with Zelina Vega, because when she got the title, I was happy. It was her first title won within the company itself. I just didn't know what they were going to do after that, because it's like you would think like after she had like a match with Chelsea Green, because technically the champion always wants at least one match afterwards and then they move on to better things and everything. You would expect they would have like one last match after the match that Zelina had to win the title, but she's just stuck feuding with all of them. There isn't any new faces showing up and everything, which I feel like it was a godsend to have Giulia come up from NXT to be put on SmackDown to throw something in there that's like a little bit different. So I feel like, once we're done with Money in the Bank and we get to that next Friday, we could really start building towards that so we could really see where things go from here. But it's like, I didn't really feel anything. I really wish I could have. But this is just an ongoing problem that WWE has, not just with Zelina, but with other superstars as well.
Yeah.
And I know you brought it up, and I think this is what you were hinting at earlier, Watkins, when it comes to like the no reaction thing when she comes out.
Yeah,
she doesn't.
the no pop.
She doesn't get any reaction. She comes out there, her song plays. I don't know if it's because her theme song sounds so similar to like the SmackDown thing, so people think she's just coming out to that or whatever. But it's like they really need to start working on entrance themes so they're a lot more catchier. They fit the character a little bit more, so at least she could stand out on her own 2 feet. Because presentation comes a long way. Like, sure, when you're in the ring, you talk on the mic, everything like that. You're a great wrestler. Obviously, that helps too. But presentation is everything. I mean, look at Cody Rhodes. Look at Malachi Black having that special entrance of him rising out of the coffin, walking down the ramp, having that really good music to represent who he is, so people know who this guy is, and then just basically having the right tools so people know who this person is, who's that person is, and everything in between. And I'm hoping and praying, not just for Zelina, but this is like something that they fix in the near future, because I definitely feel like that's one of the many reasons that people like her aren't really getting that opportunity for people to really care.
Yeah, and that just kind of sucks overall, because that's the thing, like, it's all about that first impression, it's all about that presentation, and when you come out there with a shitty song, people are not gonna gravitate to it at all.
And
Like,
what sucks is that hopefully Good could kind of veto or vote or get Metro Booming or ask like, hey,
I did
can
see
I
that.
incorporate some type of anime music or can I get like a type of lofi music because it will work well for my style. That's my type of character. That's who I am. She always does these cosplays, but it never works well. Like, yeah, girl, you're beautiful. Looks great on you. But if you have no presentation for the fans to kind of, you have the Zelina Army or the AV Army, but if they're not front and center with the merch buying, if you're not being top or like, it's good to be a soldier, but how much can that do for you? Because look at what happened to some people getting released. So, like, you need some good presentation to sell yourself very well. And if you don't got good music, it just throws it off.
yeah, like, it throws you off so hard, and that's the thing. Like, Zelina really deserves something good, especially being the second women's United States champion. She's getting nothing out of all
Yep.
this, and she's stuck. Like, I don't understand, because they did the same thing with Michin and Chelsea Green, where they just had them constantly going after each other. It's just like, why can't we just move on? Like, there's plenty of other people that you could be feuding with. And I know we're just starting the thing with Giulia. That's fine, that's great, but it's just, hopefully this was the last thing we get between Zelina and the Secret Hervis and all that. And Chelsea Green, for that matter, which, that's coming from a big Chelsea Green fan too, but sometimes WWE just likes to stay on one spot for a while. Well, all right, cool, whatever, neat. Um, yeah. So on to our quickfire segments. A couple quick things here. So Legato had a video segment where they were basically hyping up their match for tomorrow at Worlds Collide. Mainly, much like the Fast and the Furious franchise, it's all about family and all that. And along with that, you had the tag teams in the back with Nick Aldis trying to discuss about the Wyatts, trying to figure out what they're gonna do. And there was a video segment from Bo Dallas basically calling out the tag teams for not really working together, or because of all their fighting with each other, there's this lack of brotherhood and lack of loyalty and trust and all that stuff, and kind of equating how the Wyatts came together after Bray's passing and became a family, whereas these random tag teams now, there's so much betrayal, there's so much attacking going on for the past like umpteen months and all that. So yeah, the tag teams are going to deal with it in their own ways. I'm not sure how with each one of them. I didn't like the fact that Montez Ford was just like, we're not going to worry about the tag titles right now. I'm just like, do you really want to say that on national television when you guys barely, are on any PLEs or anything? But
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
not happy about hearing that part. I was like, really? Like, really? Hey,
yeah,
let's not worry about the tag titles. I'm like, but it's well deserved. It
but
could
we
have gone on the Money in the
want
Bank
to.
tomorrow. It
Yeah.
could go.
You guys are actually the good tag teams. Like
Yes.
they
Yeah.
actually
Ones we
try to
actually
do
care
something with
about.
you guys.
Yeah.
Like you guys,
Yeah.
SmackDown have the best tag team division of the men's and the best woman division of all roster. So please,
I'd say the women are both equal.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. But yeah, any other thoughts with like those quick fire segments, I guess. I mean, again, it's been a while since we've seen Bo Dallas and all
Yeah.
that. So. Cool.
good job. Go first.
So Legato, I'm just expecting like more turmoil when it comes to the breakup and everything. So that's all I have to really say about that. I don't really expect them to win their match later today when it comes to whatever happens at Worlds Collide. And the whole Wyatt 6 situation, I mean, we'll see where it goes. As of right now, I'm not really super invested in it. But hoping we shine some light on those tag titles. I don't really feel like that comment was necessary. I agree with you guys. That's why I'm glad that Fraxium mentioned that they do care about the titles, which you should, because that's the biggest prize in their division. It's almost like Cody, coming out after he lost to John Cena. He's like, you know what? I don't care about the WWE title anymore. I want to focus on doing this instead. When in reality, you're like, dude, that guy just made you look like a complete fucking fool. You want to get your lick in eventually. So it's like, if you're on top of the card, go after the main title. Same thing goes for the ladies. Same thing goes for the tag division and everything else in between. So I don't know. We'll see where things go with that, because now with the Wyatt 6 being incorporated and everything, now people are making that look like that's the biggest obstacle to climb. When in reality, I mean, shouldn't really. I don't know. Maybe it's I just I've never been the biggest fan of them trying to degrade the titles a little bit.
I've never been a fan of whenever they do that with any titles. We saw that a lot with the mid card titles, back in the later 2010s and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, with Roman, I think it was when he won either the IC or the US title, but you can tell he was only holding that, and just his overall demeanor and presence with that title was just like, oh, this is just my consolation prize because I didn't win the world title. I'm just holding on to this. You could tell he didn't care at all about that title, and it showed, and it kind of made people not even care about your title. Because he didn't really say anything, but again, the body language, the way he carried it, no,
even look at
he didn't care.
Look at the women's tag titles right now too. Non-existent.
They barely show anything with them. They barely do any storylines with it, or barely even freaking defend them. I mean, See, this is what always bothers me with like whenever they don't defend a title for so long.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the Judgment Day even did this like
It starts to
late
feel like a
last
prop.
year.
Like it
Yeah.
starts to feel like a
exactly.
Yeah.
prop. Like when we heard for the Judgment Day, I believe,
Yeah.
please quote me if I'm wrong, that they had one title defense in 92 days.
I think it was 3.
That's insane.
No, there was 3.
Okay, 3 title defense in 92 days.
It was ridiculous.
That's an insane part. That's insane. For a tag team, for 92 days, you can be that little. It was very disappointing. And for the Legado de Fantasma, for Worlds Collide, I'm very happy for them. Good promo. It felt very cinematic in that part. So that's one thing I appreciate to see the vibe they was giving out. When it came to the tournament that's going to turn over, I'm curious to see if they are still going to join Andrade. That's something that I'm very curious to see down the line, if that is still going to happen down the road. But with Bo Dallas, the White Six, curious to see how that goes. I love the video package. Like, do not understand that chat.
Produced well.
But
yeah,
I'm just curious to see what happens next. What's the build-up with the White Six, and supposedly we have Machine Gun and we have Fraxium are going to go after them. So it's like, okay, what type of build-up are we getting? Because we could have had a good build-up adding this match at Money in the Bank or some type of build-up, but we're just going to have storyline that is going to be setting up for next week. You could have done more. You could have done more with this Triple H. Honestly, you could have done more. Instead, you're just gonna have them talk for a segment and then have a net video package and then build up for next week. You could have done a lot more, my G.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. I mean, just do better. That's all we ever ask.
Do better.
Yeah. Quickfire segments done and over with. And that means SmackDown's done and over with. Again,
It's time to go to sleep.
I mean, despite some of the nitpicks and some of the other issues that were brought up tonight, I still thought this was a very solid SmackDown. Like, there wasn't really a moment where I thought, oh, we're only on the second hour.
Yeah, no.
Oh, this part's dragging and all that. No, we at least the pacing with the show kept up very well. I think, it did keep me relatively paying attention, again, distractions here and there and all that, but like overall I really enjoyed it. I mean, it started off really hot with the Seth and Solo stuff, and you had the through line with Seth and the Bronze beating up everybody, and yeah, just everything else fell into place very nicely. So yeah, I'm excited for Money in the Bank tomorrow. So good go home show, SmackDown. Vash, what'd you think of SmackDown overall tonight?
This also was a better home show than the past couple weeks ones. I'm not always on the SmackDown shows because I'm either with wifey or doing other stuff that life happens. So it was nice to be on a good SmackDown show and actually enjoyed it. So it was good to discuss it, break it down. There's one segment I didn't care for was to see Logan Paul fell asleep, do not give two flying fucks. Well, I'm really sad, disappointed as a fan to see Zelina Vega booking not be as good and as strong. 11 matches with the same goddamn people and have a rotation that's not much better. Hopefully with Giulia that we get the first round where Zelina Vega should win. That's my thing that I would say first, because I don't want Zelina Vega to be treated as a jobber or like a fodder character against Giulia, which rightfully so, because she should, but I wouldn't want to because I still have high hopes for Zelina Vega. So that's my high spirits. When it comes to the comment I said earlier, because I saw Vash's fan said that why do I say 3 matches for Solo and Jacob Fatu? It's because in case like one of them wins the first one, they have a rematch, and then it's 1-on-1. Then the third match, it could be a rubber match for SummerSlam. Is what I was implying, that 3 matches, then at the end of the match, one of them will have a 2-on-1. So that will probably go over to Jacob Fatu, and the Solo has the one, and then they split apart or split ways. So that's what I was trying to do towards the the three matches. The same thing for Zelina Vega, but the Zelina Vega could win the first one, and then Giulia could win the second one, and Giulia could win the belt at the time. Those were my last thoughts. Good SmackDown overall. Can't wait for Money in the Bank. I will be watching Worlds Collide. Go check our Discord, because if you join our Discord, there will be a thread for Worlds Collide, and we could talk about it. There will be nobody probably streaming it or watching it. I'll probably be watching it, but I'll probably be talking about it on the thread. So go, guys, check it out. I think I think it was Joe or Wade Bear that said it would be like a 90-minute event. I think what I heard. So it'll probably be a little 1 hour 30-minute event. Probably be done by 4:35.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be a solid afternoon of the wrestling and all that. But what about you, Drop? What do you think of SmackDown overall tonight?
So I thought SmackDown tonight was it was pretty good when it came to the woman getting some shine. I really did like that. I like seeing all 6 participants in a tag match. Just really there to show like the strength of their women's division, because I feel like this is probably the best the women's division has looked in years. So I'm really glad that they're showcasing that. I like how Seth is trying to put himself in that position to make himself look like, you know, the unstoppable villain when it comes to him calling the shots and just doing whatever he possibly has to do in order to achieve his goals. I liked that moment of LA Knight pretty much just going down to earth with the fans. I thought that was really nice as well. Seeing him and Aleister in the ring for the first time was nice. Hopefully we can revisit that in the near future whenever the stars align with that. John did pretty good tonight when it came to that comment I mentioned earlier about the whole truth comments from the crowd. And other than that itself, I mean, I'm just ready for tomorrow to really see how things are gonna go down with Money in the Bank.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone's just kind of excited too to see where everything goes down as well. I think once we have the winners of each Money in the Bank ladder match, we'll kind of have a better understanding of where things might be going with the King and Queen of the Ring. But again, we'll have to wait to see who's actually in the bracket and all that. But you know what? That's it. That was the show. That was SmackDown. That was our Friday night coverage of the thing. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Again, we will have our post show for Money in the Bank. Shortly after the show ends. You know, we'll gather ourselves, our thoughts together, and all that, and we'll be live relatively soon after the show ends and all that. But you know, the live stream is up already, so you know, go ahead, leave some love for us to walk into as we start the stream tomorrow, and you know, make sure to put the little notification bell and all that. Make sure that's turned on so that way you know exactly when we do go live, and you can join us as we talk about hopefully in a good way. I don't want to come in here tomorrow and have to like yell into a microphone about how much I am very angry, especially with my dare for you, WWE. And if you don't know what that dare
I hope
is,
not.
again,
I
our
hope not.
predictions are up on the up on the channel for you to watch and consume, and also give us your predictions in that video as well. But I'm going to take now the time to thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. If you enjoyed what we had to say, there are a plethora of social media accounts that you can follow us on. All of the ads are right there in the yellow for you. That's how we normally go by on the social medias, on the main ones at least. You know, your Twitters, your Instagrams, your uh whatever other one there is. Blue Sky, does people use Blue Sky still? I don't know, sometimes I see it, sometimes I don't. Doesn't matter to me. I don't really get on it anymore. Cool, neat. Thank you for the Twitter replacement, guys. Lasted a whole good week. But yeah, that's where you can find us. All those ads right down there, and of course the hashtag Weaves the Ring, so that way you can join in on the conversation. You can let us know how we're doing, because hey, we appreciate the feedback and we want to continue to up our game, and we are nothing without you guys tuning in for that and giving us that wonderful, awesome feedback for us to work on and talk about and discuss and all that. Yeah. So Weebs of the Ring is presented by Anima We Studio. Thanks, of course, to our production team for all of their hard work. Thank you once again for joining us. And remember, as always, no stunt grenades were harmed in the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see you tomorrow night for Money in the Bank.
Plata en la banco.